Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you are having a fantastic week thus far. The weekend, it's almost here. And with that, we have some news, some fun and exciting news to talk about, some positive things, talk about Google Stadia, because that's what we aim to do here. Create a positive environment for one and all. But if you are new to me and new to this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn that bell notification on to stay up to date with new content right here on this channel. If you could do me another favor, like this video as well, because that's how more people find this channel just like you did. Now, yesterday we talked about a pair of articles. It kind of breached onto the negative side of things, in which we are kind of calling publication out. But today, we're going to talk about some fun stuff, some good stuff, because we got some new releases. We got an announcement of new games coming to the Stadia platform in the near future. It's always good to have more games within the service / platform that you happen to invest time and money into. So it's good news here. Let's talk about our new releases here today, because we're going to start off right away. A little game called the Darkside Detective. This may be a game you might be familiar with if you were reading a blog post a few months back from Stadia regarding the Stadia Makers program. This game and its sequel were being talked about within that article. And this was announced at one point as coming to Stadia Pro. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, because this is actually going to be a game you have to buy up front at the moment. It was at least talked about from the team that is responsible for Darkside Detective that should be coming to the Stadia Pro as recently as earlier this week, but for whatever reason, it just happened to not end up there. So, I mean, it's possible this game ends up as a pro title in the future. The indie titles typically have a higher chance of that happening anyway, but you can pick up this point-and-click game for $11.69 on a current discount, down from $12.99. It's a little detective game, obviously, so you're getting to solve some cases. The music in it is really fun. It's a game that's built with humor involved, and I'm a guy who loves humor. I'm a big comedy fan, so seeing stuff like this is always great. So if you're into these kind of pixel art, point-and-click stuff, this is going to be right up your alley. However, if you're into other kind of art styles, which you might be, Borderlands 3, another big title out there in the world of gaming, has released the Director's Cut DLC officially out as of today. It's $14.99 as part of the Season 2 pass. You can also get it with, or you can just buy it separately in the add-on for $14.99. And a random side note, this was rated by the Peggy board earlier today, I think it was, and the Nintendo Switch was involved. So, I mean, if you're a Switch fan, Borderlands 3 might be on the way as well. So, cool to see that. If you're a Borderlands 3 fan, even cooler that there's more DLC. This game is just full of it. A lot of add-ons for this game. If you missed that $10 sale on the Ultimate Edition a few months back, you missed out, man. That was incredibly stellar. But here's the big news of the day. We got 10 more games on the way thanks to the Stadia Makers program, and some of these games might be familiar to you and some might be brand new to you because, well, they just are. So let's check out these games. One of these games we found out through a press release released earlier this morning that was going to be coming to Stadia. We did not know it was going to be talked about by Stadia today, which it happened to be talked about by Stadia. So we'll get into that in a moment, but let's go through this list here real quick and see what might be on our radar to pick up. So right out the gate, we talked about the Darkside Detective right at the beginning of this video, but I also mentioned there's going to be a sequel. Hopefully you have enough time to beat this game, because the sequel's coming out next week, next Thursday, in fact, April 15th. So another 6 cases you'll be able to solve within this game. You're going to be Detective McQueen, awesome name. But Darkside Detective is getting a sequel brought over to Stadia, which we already knew about, but it's cool to see the current affirmation of it. Next up is 100 Days. It's a wine-making simulator. So not very many simulators on Stadia. We have Football Manager 2020. If you have picked that up, at this point is no longer available on the platform due to licensing for Sega when it comes to how they manage Football Manager. So it's no longer available on the platform. So we do have a new simulator. It's called Winemaking Simulator, known as 100 Days. This will be coming out on May 13th. So if you're interested in making wine, this is the one to go for. Now, this is the game I referred to earlier. I'm not going to play any of these videos. I'll link them all in the description if you want to go check it out, as well as this blog. Foreclosed was the game that was mentioned just a few moments ago without me mentioning it, actually. This looks really cool. It's like a comic booky style game. It's a third-person shooter. This one I'm definitely thinking about picking up because it just looks really interesting, unique, and a hell of a lot of fun. It's set in like a cyberpunky world, so a little bit of that action will be involved as well. Figment 2 have Figment on Stadia already. Figment 2 will be joining in the fall of 2021. I have not played Figment, so this one's up to you to decide. But yeah, if you're a Figment fan, get ready for the second game here. Grime. Now this kind of looks creepy as all hell, but it's an action adventure RPG, and they say you get to crush your foes with living weapons that mutate, form, and function. So you can consume your enemy's remains with a black hole to strengthen your vessel as you break apart a world of anatomical horror and intrigue. And the platform doesn't have enough horror-style games, and we're starting to slowly see more of those show up on the platform. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8 next month. So it's cool to see these kinds of creepy games show up on the platform, because when it comes to indie games, that's a huge genre within independent games, is the horror genre. So it's going to be one of those little thriller / horror style games you get to play. Shoot Dreams Elsewhere. No idea what this game's really all about. It's another RPG game. Stadia's becoming kind of like its own little indie haven for like RPGs and some JRPGs. So it's really cool to see that being a heavy genre within Stadia, because a lot of people's issues with Stadia, at least their issues if they haven't really played on the platform, it might be with the internet connections, the timing, the latency, and stuff like that. And RPGs are kind of like the perfect game for that situation. So if you do happen to have maybe a little bit of latency, playing RPGs isn't necessarily the worst thing to play, because it's not going to absolutely necessarily depend on your precision. So it's awesome. Shoot Dreams Elsewhere is listed as coming soon. After that is Merrick's Market. It's kind of a weird style. It reminds me of Wallace and Gromit, just kind of looking at this image right here. It's a crafting game, not a crafting kind of guy. I know Terraria, Minecraft and stuff like that is huge in online gaming circles, but that's just not my style, all right? But it might be your style. I know those games are popular for a reason. Merrick's Market is also listed as coming soon. Now, Death Carnival. This game we knew about before. This game looks freaking sick as hell. I cannot wait for this one. Just watch the video, okay? Jay and Silent Bob. I love this SKU universe. A SKU? I don't remember what Kevin Smith calls it. A SKU? A SKU universe. I knew I was somewhat right. But this is a side-scrolling beat 'em up game. Love beat 'em ups; they're fun as hell. I don't know if Jay Muse and Kevin Smith are involved in this game anywhere, if they just got their likenesses pretty much for this. I guess Kevin Smith wouldn't need to really voice himself anyway, since he's Silent Bob. But cool to see like this kind of stuff coming to the platform. I mean, it's got a name that's well known, but I'm not anticipating this being a banger of any sorts. But it's kind of cool to see Jay and Silent Bob eventually show up on Stadia. And then Sky Climbers, you might be familiar with, because this game has had one of the biggest grassroots movement I've seen since Stadia's become a platform. It's kind of like a mix between like Pokemon and Zelda when you watch everything. It's going to be interesting. It's procedurally generated, so just going to continue to develop over time when you're playing your specific game save. So this is going to be interesting. I can't say 100% how sure I'm going to be involved in playing a game like this. I definitely want to see more from it. It's definitely gotten a lot of people's attention, and all for good reasons too. But I definitely want to see more of it. I want to see the game truly into like its actual gameplay out there. There was a huge Kickstarter campaign back in this game that I saw a lot of absurd amounts of money being poured into this game's development. And a lot of it had to do with kind of making that noise, because Paratope, the team behind Sky Climbers, wanted to bring this game to Stadia, but they had no agreement with Stadia or the Stadia Makers program. They tried getting into it, and eventually, obviously, they did. So cool to see this official from Stadia themselves. We knew this was coming to the platform eventually. It's coming soon. I'm anticipating, I think they mentioned something about the end of the year. Paratope did. So more on Sky Climbers in the future. Definitely interesting. There's plenty of interviews from the team over at Sky Climbers on YouTube, whether it's, I know Chase did one too, so definitely check out some of those. You'll get a little more information on the game, the campaign, the development of the game itself, and it's going to be interesting. This is probably the one most of the online community is anticipating the most. I'm anticipating Death Carnival the most, to be honest. That's my personal one, and Foreclose be number 2 for me. and Darkside Detective looks like a lot of fun as well. So those are my top 3. What are your top 3? What games from the Stadia Makers program are you anticipating coming to the platform within this next year or so? Let me know in the comment section down below. Again, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this. Share this with a friend who loves indie games and cannot wait to play them wherever the hell they damn well feel like it. All right, in the meantime, we'll catch you down the road. Thank you for your support, and see you later.